is currently addressing the media. I believe we have Mr. Reddy with us. Hi, Mr. Reddy. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Just wanted.
I can't hear you. Can you? Hello.
Yeah. Is my voice clear now?
No. You need to speak a little louder. Somehow I don't get enough of voice.
All right, Mr. Reddy. Mr. Reddy, if you can hear me now, your revenues came in at about
I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Your revenues came in at about 239 crores. This is versus 237 crores. PAT was at 37 versus 35 odd crores. No surprises, a good set of numbers. But like you jokingly said last time, we're back to 240 crores and we're stuck at that number on the top line. When is the next growth trajectory sort of coming in? We're back at that level, and you've seen such strong growth in some of your engineering verticals. It's a nice 42% CAGR. Why are we stuck at this top line number of 240 crores?
Well, I guess there was challenges in the global economies, be it US or Europe. We get our revenues primarily from those two markets. 45% of our revenue comes from US, 45% of our revenues come from Europe. And what we have seen is with the global recession, it started off with BFSI, it moved into retail markets or home markets and so on and so forth, but finally every product and also got affected. So therefore, in spite of that, we still were sustaining at our revenue. But the good news we have is we certainly will break the 240 crore number this quarter, because we've also announced simultaneously the acquisition of Daxcon Engineering. Daxcon Engineering will certainly make us move to a much larger number than what we have done in the past.
So if you could elaborate on Daxon's contribution going forward and getting you out of this wedge. And the last time, I believe at your con call, you were highlighting that your UTG and engineering customers still had to give you some clarity on what budget spend may be like going into 2010. Since we are in 2010 now, have you got some more clarity on what spending may be like?
Yes. Do you want to? I'll first comment on the Daxcon Engineering acquisition. This is Peoria, Illinois-based pure-play engineering services company, and primarily it specializes in off-road heavy equipment engineering and into aerospace. They have some very strong customer relationships. They have 8 customers who are very, very strong marquee names in the business that they are in. And there are about 150 people engineering services company. So we get 150 domain experts and also an onshore delivery capability. The company, in terms of its revenue for financial year 2008, they were about $21 million. And because of the financial meltdown, 2009 they degrew. But currently they're at about $13.5 to $14 million run rate. They won some very nice contracts in the last 2 weeks, and we think that they will at least be in that range of about $15 to $18 million in terms of revenue for the current calendar year. As I said, the reason why we bought them is because of the client relationships, the domain knowledge, and the 150 engineers we got on site. Now, looking at our own future, certainly we have seen some more clarity to the business as we move forward. We think there are a lot of opportunities which are coming. In that direction, we went ahead and announced one major contract today, earlier this evening. We have won a contract from Hamilton Sundstrand for 400 engineers ramp up in the next 3 years. It's a very nice contract because it's in an area which we've been trying to make a foray into in the recent past. It's more into the area of embedded software and electronic design. And this work has tremendous amount of opportunity, and this is a good beginning for us, therefore, in this new year.
Mr. Reddy, good afternoon. If you could just break up a couple of segments for us, can you tell us a little bit about your geospatial segment, sir? The revenue from that segment has gone down, I understand, in FY09 to about 35%. What kind of revenues have you seen this time, and do you expect to see any uptick in your market share in that particular space? And also, if you could tell us about your biggest client, TeleAtlas.
Yes. Certainly, I think there was a small degrowth in our UTG business, which basically has GIS as the backbone. I think it was no more than about 4%. I don't have the numbers ready with me, but I can probably get those numbers in a moment. But that small degrowth came primarily in spite of the fact that we had major challenges with 2 major contracts which got closed in the last quarter. Swisscom, which was a contract which we had for as close as 4 years, and Cox Communication, both of them wound down. It's a planned wind down during the last quarter. There is some amount of residual work that's going on which will go as maintenance, but the bulk of the work has come down. In spite of that, I repeat, in spite of that, our degrowth was a very small percentage because we have been in a position to get contracts from other customers to fill that particular space. Only thing is the ramp up has not happened. Moving forward, I like to assure you that GIS business will be equally good. Coming to the specific issue of Tele Atlas, we have done well last calendar year, which is also the financial year for them. This year also, their projections show they would probably be very steady compared to what they were last year. But certainly, I guess I cannot shy away from the fact that Tele Atlas does have some challenges from other newer players in the marketplace without naming who they are. But as a result of that, there could be challenges, but what we see and what has been committed to us is almost the same amount of business that we did for the last financial year.
Mr. Reddy, I actually want to eke out how much you would be growing in terms of volume terms, and if you could even give me some perspective on how pricing you expect to pan out purely on your organic business, not on your new acquisition, and the breakup between your top 10 customers, because you were aiming at ramping up some major orders from your top 10 core.
Yes. Certainly, if you look at a couple of things at this point of time, we had a growth of 0.7% in rupee terms for the last quarter on quarter. And if you look at the dollar terms, it was about 4.5% or so. But if you look at the volume growth that we have seen, it was about 5%. So therefore, business is definitely growing. That's number one point. The second point I like to make is that the pricing pressures have stopped. We are in the pricing pressures are not there. Pricing is, this point of time, very, very stable. So therefore, we think we will not have any major margin pressures as we move forward. We've also proven the point that we did 21.6% gross margin compared to 21.7% the previous quarter. Now, coming to the growth of our large customers, the top 10 customers, they've certainly grown in the last 3 quarters. But more important, the fact we won Hamilton Sungstrand, which is also a part of our top 10 customers, certainly we will see more amount of growth in our top 10 customers. No denying, you said don't talk about your inorganic growth, but that will equally be, I don't want people to get concerned saying that my top 10 customers are growing dramatically, because I also have DATSCON engineering through which the non-UTC customers will also grow now.
All right, Mr. Reddy. Thanks so much for joining us. That's Infotech talking about their results. Thanks so much. We'll take a very short